Hi folks, how are you doing? The first round of the Norway 2014 chess tournament is in the books, and in this game we're gonna see how they played the game between the world champion Magnus Carlsen with white pieces and Anish Giri from the Netherlands, the talented young GM. As black, Carlsen plays c4. We have the symmetrical English, quite a trendy opening these days, very flexible one. The knight c3, well, most common options here for black, most popular ones at least, are to play knight c6 for instance, or to prepare d5 with a move like e6. But Giri goes for d5 immediately, attacking in the center with the pawn. So white takes, knight takes, and now once again lots of options for white here. Both central pawns can be moved, either one or two squares. The g pawn could be moved, etc. Carlsen chooses e3, so knight takes on c3, pawn takes, and this position is usually played at the GM level on a Grufeld style. Black usually plays g6, after d4 transposes into Grunfeld types of position with bishop g7. In this case, Anish Giri played slightly different move order. He plays first kind of a waiting move. He plays queen to c7, helping the queen. So d4 is played by Magnus. White must try to go and do something in the center. And now is when black plays g6. And well, in my database there is only one game, at least in my humble database. It is the game between Le Quangliam and Nepomniachtchi in 2013. It was a rapid game. So well, quite a playable position it seems for both players. Here Carlsen chose to play bishop b5 check, and after bishop d7 his idea was to play a4, defend his bishop, and we'll have some space advantage here on the queen side if black takes to put an advanced pawn here on b5, and we'll have something here going on. Giri keeps developing, bishop g7 is played, and both players castle short. Now Carlsen puts the other bishop on a3, it's attacking right away the c5 pawn. Giri defends it with b6, after which Carlsen decides to take on c5, creating this structure in which both players have the a and c pawns isolated. But here white's position must be slightly better because he has better development and more. It will be more easy for him to create some activity, to create some threats, to possibly attack these weak pawns. And that's what Carlsen does. He creates some activity. He plays the queen to d5, attacking the rook on the corner. And the way that Giri defends it is first taking on b5, intermediate move, takes a bishop, attacks a rook, so Carlsen must take the bishop back, and now knight d7. The rooks are now connected, and the knight is developed. Rook fd1 attacks the knight on d7, very naturally rook fd8 defends it. Now yet another threat, knight g5, attacking with two pieces the f7 pawn. After thinking for a while, Giri replied correctly, it seems, the e6, a fairly simple move. After which Magnus's idea was to play queen c6. And well, as we will see, Giri takes the queen. Now Carlsen bets his chances to create something, to have some advantage of this on this passive pawn, which is quite advanced in fact, but well, maybe slightly weak if it's not protected properly, but used properly could be creating some threat, some disturbance in black's camp, and well, creating some interesting possibilities with this pawn. The knight is attacked, it goes to e5, c7, and the rook goes from d to c8. Now taking for instance on c5 really looks drawish. White gives up his strong passed pawn, and well, lots of pieces, lots of things will be exchanged here, and more likely than not this will end in a draw. That's why f4 is much more active move here, trying to chase that knight somewhere, create activity. And Giri replies very rightly and precisely, playing h6. Otherwise, if he moves the knight, for instance, going to g4, say he attacks e3, White could go to the 7th rank, attack f7 with both his knight and rook. Now, even if, for instance, bishop takes, the other rook can come to the d file, and White gives up happily the pawn for quite some activity and some really active pieces here. That's why h6 seems very precise. Now, if Magnus went for this piece exchange, taking the knight, this could be easily held by Black. If bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5, c7 will be taken, etc. So Black holds everything together. That's why Carlsen moves the knight. He puts the knight on e4 after the h6 move. Well, Black must move his knight once too, so he goes to c4, and finally Magnus goes to with the rook to d7. But this is well, not a great deal. At least it seems so. That's what Giri thinks. He puts the knight back on b6, attacking the rook, but a very interesting move here by Carlsen, sacrificing the exchange, don't caring about that attacked rook. He just gives up the exchange, develops the other rook to the d file, and sacrifices material for the control of the d file and defense of the c pawn. The knight takes, rook takes. His idea, maybe based on the knight d6 move, which would be attacking the rook on c8, quite an important square, because that could be a promotion square for the pawn, and also it would be attacking the f7 pawn, so Black just cannot allow that easily. So bishop f8 stops the knight from coming to d6 without being taken. And well, Carlsen just blocks the weakness of Black here on c5, stops this bishop from developing further activity on this diagonal. And well, he has probably enough activity to maintain the balance in the game. But well, as Giri will show us, he doesn't have much more, so balanced dynamic balance here with the with the exchange compensated for White. Now Black has his own passed pawn, and he plays a5. Knight relocates to c3, a4. The knight goes to b5. Now rook e8, interesting idea. What Black probably would like to play e4. If White takes, Black takes, there is weakness here, and well, Black could create some activity with his rooks get in. Carlsen plays e4. The other Black rook goes to c8, and well, at this point, players decided to repeat moves with rook a7, knight a7, rook a8, knight b5, etc., repeating the moves a couple of times and shaking hands after 32 moves, signing the draw, and well, having a peaceful start for the Norway 2014 chess tournament.